How are you?
Hey, everybody doing great. Okay, we're gonna go live right now. Give me countdown. We are going to the broadcast. All right, hey, just want to let you know that we're at Keep It 100 podcast. This is JR, one of your hosts. We have the beautiful and gracious number one best-selling author, actress, director, videographer, singer, songwriter.
Everything.
What is it? What is it that you don't do?
Right. That's what they usually say. It's not much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. It's
Right.
it's my first time actually podcasting with you. Usually, your first one was done with my nephew, my co-host, and
Mm-hmm.
it was a great show. But let's
Definitely.
get caught up with you. I'm gonna treat it like you hadn't been on the show, so I'm gonna ask you a lot of great questions. And number one question I want to start out with: Can you tell us how you actually got into the music business?
Oh man. I mean, the actual music business. I was discovered by Nick Cannon. I guess you could say that portion was the actual getting to know more of the behind the scenes, meeting my manager and figuring out how I wanted to navigate the industry. But as far
Okay.
as just like getting into music, I mean, I've always done music since I was like 5 years old. I always sang and was in talent shows and things like that. And I started writing songs in like sixth grade. So it's kind of been just like a lifelong thing. It's always been there. Professionally, I've definitely been doing it for more than 15 years. So,
Okay. I remember when
yeah,
you first did your podcast with us. I think it was back in February of 20. Was it 21?
I think it was 20 actually. I'm
Yeah,
not
it
too
was
sure. It's been
2020. Yeah, you did a few with us though. Then you did a TikTok too because you promoted one of Beezy, one of his
right.
songs that was coming out. Okay.
Mhm.
My next question for you. I noticed that you just came out. You were doing a takeover tour in Texas. How'd that
Yeah,
go?
it was crazy. We were driving from city to city and it was back to back. We were in Houston, Dallas, in this order. Houston, Dallas, San Antonio, then Austin. And it was a whole week's worth of shows and then I had like interviews on top of that. So it was a lot of driving, lack of sleep, but it was very fun.
Hey, let me ask you this question. Because my background is I love music. It's my passion. It's one of the reasons that we created this show. But let me ask you, how do you prepare for a takeover tour and explain to our audience what a takeover tour is?
So, okay. So the Takeover Tour was created by DJ Calvin, who is Russ, the independent artist, official DJ. And he had just gotten off of tour with Russ and Bugis in Africa or Egypt. They were in Egypt. They sold out at the pyramids.
Wow. No
So
way. Are you kidding
yeah.
me?
No,
Wow.
that was a real thing. So
That's
they
good.
did that, and then DJ Calvin came back, and he like is really gun ho for independent artists and making sure that we have a voice because Russ is an independent artist, and he's like mainstream successful, and that's like everybody's every independent artist's dream to be that successful and be indie still. So regardless of all that, DJ Calvin had the tour and I got in contact with them and he was like, yeah, you can definitely, come on the tour with us. It's X, Y, and Z. Uh,
Nice.
and I did it like, I asked him maybe like 2 months prior or so, and to get all the logistics, basically I had to just rehearse and get the mix of the show ready and, practice the new songs because I was going to release a new album called Evolve. I have it on my shirt. Um, and
Nice.
it was just a lot of practice basically and just getting ready to be back to back shows. I'm not normally used to that. We do, we have time in between normally, but this was like day after day.
Wow.
So just
So
getting mentally
how do
prepared
you
mostly.
prepare mentally for
Right. So I
okay?
mean,
And then how do you protect your voice?
it's not even possible to actually protect your voice when you're doing it that close together. I mean, I could say you can do vocal warm-ups and things like that, but exhaustion hits you no matter what, even if you're warming up your vocals. If you're exhausted, you're exhausted. You need rest, you need sleep, water.
Right.
But mentally, I was in a weird state because right before the tour, my father passed away. So on the 9th, March 9th,
Oh,
he passed. Yeah, he passed away, and then the week after that was the tour, and I was like, what am I supposed to
wow.
what am I supposed to do? So it was a lot
Wow.
of yeah, it was a lot of emotions, and I had to just realize that I had already committed to that, and I'm not gonna not do it. I'm a woman of my word, so I'm gonna show up. I'm gonna do what I said I would, and then I'll I'll also honor my father while I'm out there. I'm gonna live out my dream because he would be proud of that. I wouldn't want to cancel that. I know he'd be like, "Why would you do that? This is your chance, right?" So I went anyway, and I cried
Yeah.
afterwards. But yeah, so I mean, we're still going through all the emotions and stuff. His funeral is actually this weekend,
Right.
so we're still
Wow.
pushing.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I sympathize with you only because I had my stepdad pass away while I was in the Caribbean, Mexico, and I'd been out there for like straight. I couldn't back because I was on a new contract, so I know exactly that part. Not exactly, but I do understand. Guaranteed.
Right.
Let me ask this question: were there times in the takeover tour because of the emotion that you were going through that you got a burst of energy, or was something taken away? Did you feel anything? You know
Uh, I feel like
that you.
because of the things that. Go ahead. What was the last thing?
No, go ahead. I'm listening to you.
Okay. I feel like because of the things that I've gone through in my
Oh,
life.
I was saying that you can elaborate. Or was it?
Go ahead.
I think we froze for a second. That's what it was.
Yeah. So you were just
Are you
saying like
there?
elaborate.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. Let me repeat the question for you just to make it really easy. Yeah. So basically, you were mentioning, your dad passed away,
Right.
and normally during emotional times like that, because we're both adults, we've both been through a lot. So, and if you're into the entertainment business, I used to play basketball, so I was a point guard, used to crowds of people, and I used to operate the court. I was the guy that did it. So
Right.
your situation, which is so much greater than what I was doing, you're performing in front of a crowd also, but they're directly looking at you. And my
Right.
question is, when you lose someone that's really close to you, and you have to perform in front of a crowd, because when you're performing in front of crowds, they're taking energy from you.
Right.
And so, was there a time during the takeover tour when you were actually performing? Did you feel anything different where you got a burst of energy from performing in front of people, or did you feel like more energy was being taken?
Um, no, I feel like I'm the type of person that goes off of my own energy. So I don't count on
Um,
other people's energy to allow me to be everything that I'm supposed to be.
right,
So in those instances, I mean, of course, I had emotions, and some of the songs that I was singing were even like a little sad because of what they said. I mean, like one of them is called "This Is Us."
right.
It just came out yesterday, and it's saying, "For the past 2 weeks, I've been weak, contemplating things, searching for a remedy, and feeling defeat." And I was feeling all of that.
Oh my
So
goodness. Yeah.
I feel like, yeah, and that wasn't
Okay.
planned, but I feel like I channel
Yeah.
myself through my music, and I'm going to give you exactly what the song is saying. So if it's about love, I'm going to give you love. And if it's about pain or heartache, I'm going to give you that. And you're going to feel it no matter what, whether I'm going through something or not, because I wrote the song, and it's coming from my heart. So I feel like based off of
Wow.
the things that I've gone through in my life, it's trained me to be able to channel energy, even whenever it can be negative, but turn it into something positive and give you an experience regardless of what I'm feeling. are going
Beautiful
through.
answer. Beautiful answer. That I can't ask for any more than that. And the reason I asked you that question is I pay attention to podcasts that other people are, and I noticed Big Sean was on Drink Champs, and he was
Mm-hmm.
saying how he would sometimes be sick before perform, and he would get on, and all of a sudden that sickness would go away because of the energy from the crowd. So that's why I kind of asked that question to you, because we can make things disappear.
Definitely, definitely.
Okay.
You kind of
Next
morph
question.
into
Next. You're a superhero. You know that, right?
it. I try.
Hey, the next question I have for you is I noticed that when you did a book ago. I mean, you wrote a book. You're author.
Hmm.
Um, you became a #1 bestseller. What were
Yeah.
you feeling? I mean, because that was your first book,
Right.
a bestseller. Did you know what was going to happen?
No, I didn't even think that that was actually possible. I I didn't know that it was gonna actually happen. I was just mentored by a really great individual named Carl Michelle, and he had a workshop, a writer's workshop, that allowed me to just know the steps to, navigate writing the book, and it helped a lot in that scenario. I mean, like I said, I didn't know that I was going to be a bestseller, but I'm grateful. I'm glad people have been able to read the story, and it inspire them and motivate them to get through life no matter what they're going through, because it talks about everything from molestation to racism to growing up without in a single parent home, and being homeless. So it goes over a lot of things that I've gone through and how I will overcome them.
Um, wow, in elaborating on that just a little bit more, your book I think can help so many people. Did they tell you what was like when it first came out? I helped a
Hmm.
friend of mine. I helped her get her book set up. It was a #1 seller also, and
Hmm.
she's a life coach and a nurse and all that kind of stuff. And
Hmm.
the interesting thing about that, how did it go on the front? Like I remember we promoted it at the pre Oscars and pre Emmys, and off of
Hmm.
Melrose at I forgot the name of the place, but it's pretty cool doing all that with the stars and that. How'd yours go? How did you promote that?
I have like a really big email list
Okay.
um, of over time. And then of course, like I said, I was mentored by Carl. So he had a lot of he set up like a Zoom call, and then of course we had like the IG live. We promoted it on TikTok and things like that. So we kind of did it the social media route, and it worked. So I
Okay.
mean, we're just that was the goal.
To be a I it surprised me because I didn't see the marketing behind it, and my
Right,
background is sales and marketing, uh,
right.
and it's interesting when but the other thing that I knew about you and I called it. I remember when my nephew, you guys first connected, I said to him, I was like, she's special, and he looked at me, he's like, yeah, what do you mean, and we started talking. I was like, man, that voice, she's a vocalist, she's not a singer, because where her music comes from, it's not coming from here, it's coming from down below, and
Right.
you have really good range, amazing
Thank you.
range. And who do you contribute that to? Your mom or dad? That
Um,
voice.
well, my relatives on my mother's side would always say that my mother was very creative and she was inquired and wanted to do those things. But my mom says she was really shy. So, but to me, she's hilarious and silly and funny and all of that good stuff. And my dad, apparently on his side of the family, he can sing. And a lot of my other siblings from his side of the family can sing. So I don't know. I guess it's a combination of both the creativity and the voice.
Okay, that's not
Yeah.
bad. Now let me ask this question about family growing up. Brothers, sisters, is there anyone?
Well, I only grew up with one sibling, which was my sister Priscilla. She's about 9.5 years older than me. I didn't grow up with any other siblings. I do have other siblings though, and I
Okay.
don't know all of them. I only know a few. So I explain all of that
I
in the
got two
book
like
as
that,
well.
so
Yeah.
I understand. My dad was a Rolling Stone, so
Ah,
yeah.
hey, that's how it happened.
Hey, no, you could have grew up with me. I grew up with four sisters. I'm the only guy, and then I later on I found out my dad had two more. After my parents were divorced, but my dad had two more kids later on, and
Hmm.
yeah, so we were close early, but then not later on. It wasn't close at all. So yeah,
Right.
you never know. And I always wanted to meet my brother in Chicago somewhere.
Right.
Apparently, we look alike.
Right. Yeah, I look like some of my other siblings. I'm like, oh, that is so interesting because we never even grew up with each other.
Wow,
Strong
wow. Let
genes.
me ask this question. So your current current projects that you're working on right now, you had a new song come out yesterday or the day
Yes.
before that. Was it?
Mhm.
It was yesterday,
Yesterday.
right?
Yeah. Well,
Wow. Yeah,
technically it
yeah,
was
yeah.
like midnight last night. So today.
'Cause I posted it at I said premiered because I was posting for this over and over like I
Mhm.
work for you. I love your talent. Um,
Thank you.
yeah, so I was posting that it was what was it? I think I posted it right at 6 hours. Premiered 6 hours ago, and then I
Mhm.
posted it again. But a week before that, I was posting because you know that we were having our third year anniversary, April 9th,
Right. Gosh, yeah.
and the this interview. So 3 years already, huh?
Man, time
I don't know what
flies.
happened, doesn't it?
It
I
it just
tell you.
goes.
So the new song that just came out April 10th. Tell us a little bit about that. Explain that where that came from.
So This Is Us was actually written about one of my exes. And people always confuse, I guess, my exes because they don't know if I'm talking about a guy or a girl. I write songs about both. So
Okay,
this one was about a man,
okay,
a guy,
okay,
and
okay.
basically it's just about how it's just time to say goodbye. You know, you can go through it over and over and over again and try to romanticize or fantasize and try to make it work, and it's never going to get to that point. You've grown out of each other, and it's not right anymore. You know, you're not it for each other, no matter what it may seem like, in your heart.
Right.
And you're just technically not good for each other. So that's what it stemmed from. And then, ironically, some of the words that I wrote just kind of matched, my losing my father and saying goodbye to him unexpectedly. So
Right.
I mean, I channeled all of that together and created a song. I wrote the song though before my father passed away, so it just kind of added on to how emotional the song was already, for me.
How
But
how long did it take you to write that song?
uh, uh songs don't normally take me very long. I mean, it depends. It depends. That one in particular, I want to say it only took maybe an hour at the most because I needed the emotions were ready. Whenever they're
Okay.
ready, they're ready. Sometimes the song can take 5 minutes. Sometimes it could take years. It just
Okay.
depends on if that emotion is ready to come out.
Right. Right. I got some. I'm saving this other question for you afterwards, though, because I'm going to ask you about your writing of songs and where all that comes from. But
Hmm.
so the I noticed that you also have, and I pay attention to a lot of your stuff because you have this one song called "Pay Attention"
Uh
that is
huh.
like my favorite. I was like,
Love that song.
I put that, yeah. Oh, God. And I for a few throughout the Caribbean, Mexico, and also in Europe, and they just love it. And I was like, man, I wish she would just make. And I can't tell you what to do because you're your own person. But I was like, and I told my nephew this. I wish he would just make more music like that. I was like, because R&B is coming back, and that song right there. if she just did, and this is me talking about your music,
Right.
and I'm like, I wish you would just do the remake on this, and just add this and add that, and just. And the only reason I can say that, Natalie, and I'm sorry, is I executive produced on one album, and it was my first, and we did 16 songs in a week in a promo, and it was bomb. And you know how music people, I was the executive producer. I had 3 rappers who were living in my 4-bedroom place in California, and the producer was in Glendale, so I was driving these guys after work over to make music. You know, I had a producer who would make the beats, would actually do this, and he made the beats in like less than 30 minutes. And the rappers would sit there and write, and they would write to it, and we'd have a song done in 30 minutes, in an hour.
Right.
You know, I mean a full song. You know, and be bomb. So this is why I can say this to you is like, I have a really good ear when it comes to music. And I was like, I
was going to say, it's funny that you said that to make a remake, because I'm actually making a remake of that song with just me, because I wrote both parts. I wrote the male part of the song and the female part of the song, and I arranged the entire thing. And there is going to be another version of it with just me singing it on this album. So
I was speaking it into existence.
Apparently. That's one of my favorite songs that I've ever written. I love that song. I'm so glad that I wrote it, and I'm glad it has that version too, because that's how I originally pictured it, as a duet. But now that I'm doing it as just a solo song as well, it has a new vibe, and I like it a lot. It's kind of a little bit slower than,
it's a vibe. It's definitely a vibe, and I commend you on it, because I don't think you could have done anything better for that song.
Right.
But on a remix, when I'm used to being in the Caribbean and Mexico, and all my friends are DJs and producers, and they did BPM, and for 10 years I had every famous person down there in the Caribbean and Mexico, Playa Carmen, Cancun, Tulum, that were there for 10 days in a row. Every year, so in listening to that song, I was like, man, I'd love to hear some house where they sped it up. That'd be great.
Right.
Vocals. And I might be giving you all these ideas, huh?
I mean, I already had that one.
Yeah, so, I know you did, but I'm just saying to you, I was so aligned and very, very happy every time I heard that song, and I still play it. Like, I play it almost at least once every 2 weeks. I play that song because it just has a really good vibe to it.
It is. That's one of my favorites of all time. Yeah.
Okay, I'll stop kissing your feet now. Now go on to the next question. Yeah. So let me ask this. I noticed that you have about, you got song hopping like 39 days, 24 days. I noticed that you have a string of songs they're going to premiere coming up. How many songs do you have premiering?
There was 10. There's going to be some more though too coming up. So there's 20 coming.
Okay. And how is it that because to winning this game, one of my good friends who is a amazing professional, a legend that I talk to almost every other day, who's on tour a lot, was saying that in order to win in this game that you guys are in, because I'm on the other side, I'm just, I'm a podcaster, I'm an interviewer. Right. I love I respect the art. How you have to actually be working on your next 15 steps, so you got to work on the next. And how do you find the time to prepare and find the time for your own private, your family, and then the media, and then the professional side, because you're dealing with people, managers, producers. I mean, you got people coming, throwing songs at you, wanting to do collabs. How do you prepare yourself for that?
You don't. You don't. I mean, you do. You do. You just have to really
Okay.
be on top of what you want first, and then everything else kind of goes in between. So like as long as you know your set goal, like I knew I wanted to finish that album and put it out, and I knew I had a projected date and a projected rollout plan that I wanted. So anything that came in between that, it had to go around it, and um, you just kind of make it flow as you're going. I tried to plan stuff like years in advance because I'm a perfectionist and I like to plan. But even if you do that, it ends up changing anyway. So it's like, you kind
Mhm.
of sometimes just have to roll with the punches.
Oh yeah, guaranteed. I do understand that. I learned because of being older and being older kids, and a younger daughter who's on spring break right now throughout the Caribbean. And you, no matter why you're planning, life is passing you by.
It
It's just the
is.
way it is. And,
Yeah.
it's so kind of interesting. So question. So you've been doing a lot of tours. As I noticed. How do you spoil yourself? What have you done for yourself? You know how when you've been struggling, and all of a sudden you see a check come in, and you got to pay this person, pay that person, pay for this, pay for that, which a lot of people don't understand.
Right.
When did you get to that point where you actually spoiled yourself and bought yourself something like a ring, a car? I mean, did you spoil yourself at all for all your hard work?
Oh no. No, I'm not really materialistic. If
Okay,
I spoil myself with anything, it's more like just a day off.
I love it.
A day off or like going to the park or doing something I enjoy that's normal, going out with my significant other, having
Okay,
dinner with family or
okay,
something. I don't really,
okay.
like I said, I'm not very materialistic. I don't have like tons of jewelry or anything like that. I love shoes, but I don't really even buy a whole bunch of them or anything like that.
I'm not a jewelry person either.
Yeah.
People
I mean,
always
I don't
try
even
and
have none of my earrings on right now. So
let
yeah.
me. Well, this is what I'm thinking of and I read people very well because of my background. But let me ask this question: You're more, and tell
Hmm.
me if I'm right or wrong. Just say yes or no. I think of
Okay.
you after hearing your music and knowing how you came up, and after kind of reading your story a little bit,
Hmm.
you seem to be the type of person that feels better about giving to someone else versus giving to yourself.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
am I right there? 100%.
Yeah.
Okay, I
Absolutely.
just want to know. I haven't been wrong yet. I'm trying to. I don't want to be right all the time, but it's just one of those things where you. I want to be the one that can pick good people or bad people because I feel like I want to be around givers in my life, in my next 2 quarters of life, versus
Absolutely.
takers. I've been around a lot of takers, and I know what that's like. And I've
Hmm.
always been a giver. I feel
Same.
better when I do something for someone else versus myself. Let's talk more about your family. Any cousins or aunts or uncles that are in that can sing?
Oh, that can sing.
Huh?
Um, maybe a few, but they don't take it as seriously as I do. I mean, they'll bust a few
Okay.
notes here and there at a reunion or something or a
Mhm.
gathering or something, but not really. No one really is as active in it as I am.
Okay. Let me ask this.
Yeah.
The next question I have for you. This one's going to get you. Okay. It's not a tough one or anything. I always have questions. Um, when was that aha moment when you were on stage? Because you have those moments where just you hit that note, or the song that you sang came out okay, but then all of a sudden that one night it just went, the crowd went off. That when
Right.
was that moment for you? How many times?
I mean, I feel like I have that moment all the time.
Oh, I love it. That means you're giving all yourself every time then.
Yeah, because I'm more of like I zone in. I'm intimate when I'm singing to you. So I'm looking at you. I'm really like exuding the feeling that I wrote about. So And people usually get that. They'll say, man, you're mesmerizing, or you're angelic. Your voice is,
Yeah.
capturing. And I'm like, good. That's the goal. That's what I was trying to do. So,
Hey, that could also just because everybody thinks you're singing exactly to them. All of a sudden you got
right.
this
Yeah,
person waiting for you after the after.
it happens. It
Hey,
happens.
good thing you sing about beautiful stuff because when it comes to singing, you attract what you put out there. You know how words are.
True. Yeah, very
Very
true.
true. Yeah. The other question I have for you, what was your favorite? What are your favorite three songs that you wrote and sang?
Okay.
Just your There's three.
For sure, pay attention, because that's
My
like my
favorite.
number. Yes. Tell him, because
Oh,
whenever we
that's a nice
recorded,
song.
yeah, when we recorded that one, it was just so, it was like quick, but it was perfect. Like I didn't need to go back and listen to it a million times before I got it right. It was just perfect the day of. Like it was just nice. Gosh, with you, I actually wrote that one about my girlfriend. It's dedicated to my girlfriend too, and that one just came organically. I was literally like sick though when I wrote it. I had COVID, and
Oh no.
yeah, I had COVID and I could not breathe. It was terrible, but the song
Oh
is beautiful.
no.
And
Yeah.
it was actually about like being away from her because she was in another state at the time. And people
Oh,
have
that's tough.
gravitated to it though for people like that they've lost. So I was like, wow, I didn't realize that it could be perceived in that
Yes.
way. So,
That's huge. That song is now that we're talking about that. That's one of those songs like reminds me that it came like they could have come from like U2 because a lot of their
mhm.
songs were about things like that, which is amazing. And I'm a huge U2 fan. I love
Mhm.
all John. I'm gonna ask just you don't have to do this, but I'm gonna ask because that being my favorite song for the people that have probably never heard that song, have
Mhm.
no idea what I'm talking about. If they're not my friends, my closest friends, they know that song because I play a lot of music. Could you hum a couple bars of that for us? I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not. You don't have to do that, but you have such a beautiful voice. I want people to hear that so that they can
Yeah.
follow you. But it's up to you. But just a couple
Yeah.
notes.
Okay. So let's start with my piece, which is it seemed like you were into me, yeah. Running lines on me, trying to get with me, yeah. But then I got distant, my baby. Hey, hey, I've been in my own lane, driving real fucking crazy lately. Yeah, I don't wanna be pressed now. I've been in my own bag, just trying to get dressed now. Hey, I've been focused so hard, can't really read text now. Hey, hey, I've been busy when you call, I've been really getting blessed now. I can't FaceTime now, but maybe I should pay attention. Ooh,
Yes. You
yeah.
know. All right, there we go. See, I was trying to explain to people how that because I feel that one. That one's just boom. Um, that makes you stop at a red light.
Yeah.
and and it actually means a lot. When you put that song on, it was just you singing it by yourself, and the gentleman who sang that with you, his name.
Naz T Music, yeah.
You couldn't have picked a brother with a more perfect
Better
voice
voice.
too. Oh, your voices just went together it was like peanut butter and jelly.
Yes. When I found him and I was like, I need you to sing this song for me. I need you to sing this song with me. And he said yes, but he doesn't do music anymore. He stopped. So I was like, damn. I had so many
What?
other songs. Yeah, I had so many other songs that I would have
Oh,
totally duetted with him. But
uh,
sometimes it's a
just
hard industry to be in, you know. People don't want to do all of the
yeah,
process. It's a lot.
got you. No, no, I know, I know exactly what you're talking about. It is tough, and
Yeah.
usually, because I didn't get a chance to do a podcast with you in the beginning, and you did it with one of the greatest music people there is. My nephew knows everything about every rap artist, R&B artist. He's just into it, And
Right.
when you guys did that first interview, I was just blown away, and I was like, "Wow, dude!" And the questions that he asked you, I was on point. He was on point.
Yes.
Like he was like, "Give me your top five," and you were like, "Oh," and just killing it. It was really cool. So I really thank you for that first podcast, and thank you for all the help that you've done helping us with the podcast with
Absolutely.
other artists and things of that nature. Let me ask this question. So your future projects that you're working on right now,
Mhm.
explain where you're going to be. Salt Lake City, and just kind of give us the runabout.
Yeah, okay. So we're gonna be in New York first. We're gonna go down to my hometown, San Antonio, and then uh we're gonna go to, I don't know the order of this one yet because Calvin hasn't sent me the full exact order, but I know the places. So it is Salt Lake City, Las Vegas, Bay Area, Los Angeles, and San Diego.
Oh wow, okay, wow, all right. So that's a nice little route.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazier than the
Have
Texas
you?
takeover tour.
Well, let me ask this question: Have places that you're talking about? I've lived a lot of different places. The Bay Area is really cool. Where in the Bay Area?
I'm not too sure. So I all I know
Okay,
at this point is that those are the places we're going, and then
okay,
he's gonna let me know the logistics. And there's a few other artists that are coming on with us, so we're all gonna kind of know
okay,
like same time. Then I'll post them on my Spotify, just like I did the Texas Takeover tour, so people can purchase tickets and things like that.
okay. So you're gonna definitely be in LA though, right? Los Angeles, or is,
Hmm.
is it okay?
Yeah,
And he
I've
doesn't
lived
know.
in LA.
I gotta get you got, huh?
I've lived in LA. I've been to a few of these places, but not all of them.
Okay, I got it. Let me know as soon as you get the dates. I'd really like to come check that one out. Since you're
Definitely.
going to be in home places, yeah, LA, because I lived here and there and everywhere else. So let me ask this next question. As far as anything international, have you performed international yet?
I have not, but I have gotten people who have inquired about it, like from Canada.
Mhm.
Gosh, what is that place? Spain,
Spain. Yeah.
France. There's people who listen to like Simple and a lot of my other songs and stuff. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
wow. And they're like, come to Africa, come to Canada, come to Spain. I'm like, I'm trying, guys.
I
I'm
I
trying.
I'm promoting this podcast, and also when your music drops, I promote it in was it Laga, Nigeria, London, England,
Mm,
also Glasgow, United Kingdom. I got
mm-hmm.
a friend of mine who danced in Snoop Dogg's world tour over there. She was on the show, and she's a pole dance instructor and also a fitness trainer. And she got a
Golly.
chance to dance for Snoop. I don't know if you've seen that yet, but I have all that stuff posted.
Oh
And
man.
yeah, so we let him know that she was on the show.
Right,
Definitely,
right.
guaranteed. So also, if you're, I'm sending this stuff out to Spain because I have friends out there. After living in the Caribbean and Mexico for many years, Playa del Carmen, Tulum, I hooked up with
Mhm.
a lot of friends that are in those areas. So I got friends in Ibiza, Spain that I'm sending this out to, so they'll see this tonight, this podcast,
Yeah.
and so start
I'm
following your
excited.
music. Then in London, London, England, got some DJs, also some artists out there. Actually, going back to Ibiza, Spain, all the top DJs that BJ and High Bees and all those clubs are my friends. So it's like one of those things where I was like, hey, you need to check this music out. So I'm pushing for you. You know, I'm definitely pushing stuff up there.
I appreciate
and then when it comes to LA, we got LA on lock. I'm about to do something really big in LA. I can't talk about it yet. Do something really big. And then Playa del Carmen, Mexico. The reason I'm going to mention this to you, because you sang a couple songs where you were speaking in Spanish.
Yeah, there's some more coming too.
Yeah, you're missing a market, but I'm telling you right now, Jazz Festival in Playa del Carmen, November, December time period, they will bring in an R&B artist with the jazz singers just to do a test down there. And a few people that amazed me, that I remember I was down there and it was right in my backyard. I walk out my place into the sand, and they set up the stage and stuff right in the backdrop is the beach, the Caribbean water, which is see-through, beautiful seven colors. And they would have, you know, this R&B person, and everybody be like, because a lot of Spanish is spoken there. You got people from Argentina, you got the Europeans from Italy, you got everything, you know, you got a district in those areas. And they would have someone like yourself kind of do a test down there and just blow it up. And you would do so amazing there because you speak Spanish to you. Okay? just so you know.
I feel like,
yeah, and it helps.
Yes, I feel like the Spanish market in general, they're just like super loyal. So that's definitely where we want to dive in more.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. Well, you got to know that, especially if you end up dating or marrying someone from that culture, you must know that they are so loyal. I mean,
absolutely. My girlfriend.
One of the reasons. Oh yeah. I'm sure. Next question for you. So, what do you want to be known for in the business? Say 10 years, you're living high in life. You're already happy. I can see that because of just your glow, and when you have gratitude, you're going to be happy anyway. I'm one of the happiest people, whether I have nothing or I have something. But what do you want to be known for from your audience? If someone's talking about you and you say you're in one room, they don't know you're there, and you're overhearing people talk, what would you like to have people saying about you?
I just want them to know that I'm giving nothing but my authentic self, and I'm always going to give you a true story. So you can expect that. You can expect a genuine story, no matter what kind it is. It's going to be the truth. So
like that.
Honesty, an honest story every time, at least.
I also noticed that you and your mom were very, very close.
Absolutely.
Like buddies. And it's nice to see that, because you know how girls grow up, and I don't care. Women don't understand women. And the thing I learned, women are meant to be loved, not understood. Just love them. That's it. Don't try and figure them out. Just love them.
True.
So, and going further into the question I'm going to ask you, why do you think you and your mom have such a bond? Because usually, and I watch my 10-year-old daughter with her mom, who is in Germany, and because she was born in the Caribbean, Mexico, on the island. So she's all three. She's U.S., Mexico, and she's German. So she has all three passports. Let me ask I know, how cool is that, huh? Let me ask this question for you, because she and her mom, have those moments, but then they hug it out, and it's like the greatest. How do you guys stay, 100?
We get on each other's nerves, and then I mean, just like anybody else, we're both adults now. I'm not just a kid anymore. So we butt heads sometimes, but overall we know that we love each other and we have each other's best interest at heart. And we have to just come back to that place and know that it's coming from a loving place. And we've gone through a lot with each other. So I mean that's why we're so close. We've gone through the hardest things together and we've always had each other's back. So
Yeah.
I know anything, crazy pops off, I know my mom, as long as she can, is going to be there and will help, you know, in whatever situation, and vice versa. So,
Okay.
uh,
Yeah, I seen you did that one video about coming to LA, and that was just like, and you told the story, your whole story. I won't say much about it because I want people to go back and watch it. The one that you had on YouTube, because that's what
hmm
it's for. People, you want to know about someone, especially when they give you. I guess what I'm trying to say, the toughest thing for me is I'll tell people that we have a podcast show, and they'll like ask me questions about it. And I'm like, hey, you know what?
Go
We
listen to it.
156 episodes in 6 months. Go listen to it if you want to. Don't
Right.
ask me questions about it. So
Go
same with
experience it.
the people that are going to watch. Yeah, because you can do it. You can get a chance to really find out the authentic person that way. And I learned
Right.
a lot about you when I ran that, and I was telling my nephew about it, and he checked it out. He's like, "Whoa!" He's like, "Man, that's cool. I'm glad because we do things different. We don't go and get a lot of information on our guests. We like it raw. We like, we we're those type. We can basically we don't react. What we do is we take the information that you're giving with us. We count down 10, 9, 7, and then we answer the question. We're not the kind of
Right.
person that's gonna, say, "Oh," or shocked. You can't shock me. I've seen a lot. I lived in
Exactly.
three different countries, or so. So then the next question I have for you, which is really cool. If given the chance, what place out of the country would you like to perform first? And just give me three.
Uh, I think the ones that I listed, it would be Canada, Spain, and Africa.
Okay. And do
Because
you have a particular part? Do you
I
have
don't
a
know all the specific ones. I know if I look at my logistics on my Spotify and stuff, I can
okay?
give you the exact cities and
I'm,
stuff.
I'm like that
But
too.
yeah, but I just
Okay.
know in those locations there's a lot of people who actually listen to the records and gravitate to them. So I would love to go to those
Yeah.
locations. Definitely.
Okay. I'm gonna make sure you do this one thing when you get a chance to do some vacationing. Go down and vacation in Mexico. You're gonna open just like around. I'm telling you, they're the easiest people to connect because all those people are in the industry or know someone in the industry, and they use that. That's where all the festivals are. Like the
Right.
Zuma and Tulum. You got every
Mm-hmm.
festival, and there's festivals going on right now. All my friends are DJing down there and producing and artists and singing and stuff. When we finish this podcast, I'm going to be posting some of the stuff going on for spring break down in Playa del Carmen and Tulum and also on the island of Cozumel. Cancun, I've lived down there for 10 years, so I know the whole deal. Cancun's cool, but I would go into Playa del Carmen, the island of Cozumel. If you're a lover, go over to the island of Cozumel. Go on the back island where there's nobody. They turn the light. There's no electricity after o'clock, so and cars are let in after that time. So when you're over there at one of those hotels, because they only have one or two, it's just you in the ocean and turtles going in the water. It's beautiful.
Oh,
It
wow.
is
Oh, I would
beautiful.
like the turtles. Oh, that's pretty. It sounds pretty.
Yeah, and I can tell you. Yeah, I can tell you a lot. If you're into traveling, let me know because I worked in this for over 25 years, and that's what I did is I got people involved in vacation ownerships and I sent them to different places. Meanwhile,
Yeah.
I was traveling almost every other week myself, going places. So I'm thinking about getting back into it. I miss
Yeah,
that.
that's true.
But yeah,
That,
if you have a place that you want to travel to, let me know, and I can give you the specs on it because I've already been there. So
yeah.
definitely let me know about that. Guaranteed. So let me ask this question: best vacation, best 3 vacations that you've had.
Oh God. I don't even think I've ever really been on a true vacation, to be honest. uh,
as an artist, you don't normally get a chance to.
yeah, I mean, you go to cool places like Miami, or you go to New York, you go to LA, you're performing though, so you don't really get to like see everything. I've been to Disneyland or Disney World and things like that, but as an adult on my own, I haven't really been on a true vacation. But I don't feel bad because Snoop Dogg said he hadn't been on a vacation till he turned like 60 or so, however old he is. He barely went on a vacation a couple of years ago. He was like, I actually went on a real vacation. So I don't feel bad. His work was
Yeah,
work.
he is definitely a character. I'll tell you
Yeah.
that. I know of him and know some stuff, and he is one of the funniest people I know, and so easy to talk to,
I
very
can
easy to talk to. So guaranteed. If you had a chance to name three rappers that you would like to actually do something with, collaborate with.
3 rappers.
Uh-huh.
Big Sean.
Oh God. Let me ask this question. Wait. You said Big Sean.
Mhm.
I learned a lot about Big Sean just recently. Why did you pick Big Sean?
I just like his style. I don't know. I just like his style. I don't really have a real true reason other than I just like his cadence and his style and his tone of voice. Um, I probably also want to do a record with like J. Cole because I like his tone of voice as well.
Ooh, yeah.
For me, it has to do more with like your cadence and how like your storytelling ability. I feel like they can tell stories pretty good through in a record. So,
Okay.
and a
Okay.
surprising one, I guess, would be like Drake because I don't know. I think that sound interesting. I think that just sound interesting.
Sure. Drake brings out the greatness in people. That's just what he does.
Yeah.
He has that. He's like a chef in the kitchen. There's an aroma about Drake. When you're in the kitchen with Drake, you're about to prepare a
Yeah.
meal. It's coming.
Yeah.
It's
He has a
coming.
good vibe.
And yeah, that's Canadians though. I have Canadian friends uh,
They're different.
that I met in the Caribbean, Mexico when I was living, and oh God, some of the greatest people in the world. I'm
They're
telling you,
sweet.
they're genuine.
Yeah. Yeah, they're nice.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and depending, say that both in different aspects, because there's your French Canadians, which are a little okay, but then you have your other Canadians, and there's a difference in the two cultures. It being
Mhm.
French too, but let me ask this question. Let's go into the as far as females, female rap artists that you like to three that you would like to collaborate if you could.
I don't know. I don't really listen to a
I
lot of
got you.
rap.
I don't listen to a lot either.
Uh I mean, I like Nicki Minaj. I've always liked Nicki.
Okay.
When she first came out. But if we throw it back, it would be like Missy Elliott.
You read my
Um,
mind. You read my mind on that one.
mhm,
You and Missy, that would be whew,
that'd
yeah.
be dope. That'd be dope. And then I
Yeah.
kind of take it back to like one of the if I could throw it back with the old school rappers or like the older generation, it would have been like Timbaland, freaking like
How'd you know?
yeah, it'd be like Mob, what is it? Dang it, Mob Deep and
Mob Deep.
is it Mob Deep, right? God, there's so many of the older ones that I would totally do records with.
Moth Death would be good also. I can see
Yes,
you doing stuff. Yeah. That's on a whole nother level because the tracks that he had when he was rapping to, like the
they
other
were
tracks, everybody else.
great.
It's just he's on a different. Yeah.
Yes.
You know what?
Well, anybody from the
He
90s, anybody from the 90s.
okay. Yeah, his stuff was more. he would throw on that classical stuff where you would be like, "Ooh, where'd that come from?" You're like, I wasn't wait, I didn't know that was coming. Guaranteed.
Right.
Here's a question for you. I'll throw you. We probably got about another 5 or 10 minutes here. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know you're a busy lady. But as far as cooking, since we're talking about the kitchen and Drake and stuff like that. And for your fans, because normally if you're an artist, you don't try and cook a whole bunch. Usually you have somebody doing that, helping you with that. It's really busy. If you were in the kitchen and I was a guest coming over to just talk and stuff, and you were in the kitchen cooking, what would you be cooking?
Breakfast.
Okay. And all right. That's on a Monday.
It's the first meal of the day.
And what would you be making?
Egg whites, sausage, bacon, pancakes, papas, which is like hash browns, except like thicker.
Okay, all right. Yeah. And did you grow up cooking? And are you on the scale between 1 and 10? 10 being high, 1 being low. Where do you rate as far? Where do you rate?
I grew up surviving. I didn't grow up cooking. I grew up surviving. I mean, like I said, if it comes down to it, I could definitely cook a mean breakfast. If I absolutely have to, I can put together some mashed potatoes and pork chops and some chicken or something, some salmon, things like that. But like, I'm not gonna sit here and say that I'm like this fantastic, chef or anything like that. But I can cook some things. I like to bake too. So I mean, there's that.
Oh, that's this question. Now that you said that, because I like to make you shine. Bake. What do you bake?
I just like baking like cookies or like cakes and things like that. Because my grandmother, she said that she used to, and ever since she said that, I was like, that's a thing for me. She used to bake cakes for like the neighborhood, and people would just come to her house and just eat cake. And I was just like, that is like the sweetest thing ever. So just cakes, just kinds, whatever.
That's awesome. You just now you put a tear in my eye, because my grandmother on my mother's side used to bake cakes from scratch, and it was like
a lot of
to this day I have not. Yeah, I have nothing like it. Nothing like it. Still kind of mad at my mother because she didn't have the recipe.
Right. People don't cook or bake the way they used to. Our grandparents and stuff had it going on.
Yeah, no, guaranteed. So the next question I have for you. If you could look in the world, and let's just go how I used to do it. I used to do 6 months in Vegas, 6 months in the Caribbean of Mexico, and then I went full time in the Caribbean of Mexico. But if you could places year round, what 2 places would you want to live in?
I don't know. It'd probably be like Canada. I'd go to Canada. I think that's my spirit place.
Okay. All right. Okay. Guaranteed. Let me ask this question. What would be it'd be the United States and Canada, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let me ask this question. When it comes to, and I'm just going to do five quick questions for you. Okay. And you just say one or this one or that one. Easy. Okay. Beach or mountains?
Beach.
Okay. Out on a yacht on a boat, or fishing on a fishing boat?
Fishing.
Okay. All right. Let me stop for a second. Fishing. How many years have you been fishing? Yeah.
I I
Why
used to
why fishing?
I used to fish when I was a kid, and I used to ride horses and stuff when I was a kid. I can rope things and stuff. So, fun fact.
What?
Yeah,
What?
I grew up in the country. Yeah, I grew up in the country, so we would
Okay.
play outside and ride horses and play with the dogs and jump on the trampoline and play soccer in the mud and things like that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Rodeo or county fair? Rodeo or county fair?
dang. Uh, County fair
Okay. And why?
because I like rides and
Cotton
stuff.
candy? Okay.
I like to
Okay.
ride the ride. Yeah.
Okay. Next one. You're on vacation. You're about to pick a vacation. Condo with your own private pool overlooking the ocean, or condo somewhere in the Alps with a beautiful view. Which one?
Mm, both.
Had a feeling you're going to say
Depending on my mood.
that. Guarantee. All right. Last question for you, Natalie. As far as birthday, when's your birthday?
September 17th.
Okay. We don't ask people how old they are because it's not important. I think we're always each year. You've never been that age before, so it's new. A lot of people think they're
Absolutely.
getting old. You're getting new. You're getting new. That's how I look
Absolutely.
at it. Guarantee. So, what do we have to look forward to for Natalie coming up in for the rest of this year? We've got 2 quarters to go. What do we have to look forward to
So we
as far as
definitely,
entertainment?
yeah. So I mean, we have tons of music, tons of music. The album as a whole, which is called Evolve, that's going to drop this year. We have the tour in July, and we have a few shows prior to that. And I'm more than positive we're just going to fill up the rest of the year with more shows, more interviews, and things of that nature. I am slowly but surely working on my audiobook for my bestseller, so we're getting
Oh
that in there.
wow. Okay, that's good.
Yep,
Okay,
and then we're just
that's
gonna audit
cool.
back in the studio, of course.
Okay, do me a favor for all of um, our viewers. How do they follow you? Where to find your music at? Can you go over if someone didn't know who you were, where they could find your information?
Absolutely. So the easiest thing to do is go to my website, which is my first and last name, natalienichole.com. It's
Mhm.
spelled out NATALIENICHOLE. And you can Google me. That's another easy way to get in contact with me. Or if you don't know how to do any of those things, you can find me on Instagram at Natalie_moments, and get in contact with
Okay.
me that way as well.
Now, repeat that one again because I want to ask you a question about that one.
My Instagram is
Natalie underscore what?
_moments.
Okay. You used to do something with that. There was some kind of where you could act, you had it like on a Tuesday or something like that. Didn't you do something special with that?
Intimate moments. Yeah.
Yes.
On
Yeah.
on
What
Facebook.
before
Yeah.
we go, what was that all about? What was that all about?
It was just a way to get closer to my fans and have a moment with them. Literally just talk to them and go over what's coming up, and we still have them available, but they're like booked now. So people can join in on
Wow.
a group call or things like that and see what's coming up and talk to me personally, ask me questions and have a good time. We have milk and cookies and all that good stuff.
Oh wow. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Hey Natalie. Hey, do you anyone or thank you to any people that you work with or anything? This is your moment to do that.
Absolutely. I want to thank you guys. Keep It 100 podcast. Y'all always have been supportive of everything that I'm doing, and I genuinely appreciate that. And anybody who is, my fan right now, listening to my music, downloading anything, I appreciate you so much. We, as independent artists, have a lot of work that we carry on our shoulders. So anything that you do as far as buying our merch, donating to our projects, or anything that we have going on, it means everything. So thank you to the fans, the Dove Nation. Thank you to you guys and all the DJs who play my music. I appreciate you guys.
Yeah. Oh, and I know that you did I don't miss anything. You also had a shoe that came out. I noticed
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
How's that going?
It's good. I mean, people bought the shoe, so it got put in production. So that's a good thing.
Wow.
And
No,
then
is that talk about it?
go ahead.
No, go
I
ahead
just
and
designed.
talk about it.
Yeah, I designed a shoe. I wanted it to be kind of like urban, but you could dress it up at the same time, so you can be casual or like street in it. And the reason why I made them is because when I was homeless, I only had one pair of shoes, and a lot of times it just depends on that, having a good pair of shoes to get you where you're going. And the motto for
Yeah,
that, or the slogan, is "Why walk when you can fly?" That's my slogan for that
I
brand.
love it.
It's the Into
Love it.
Seven. Yeah, the Into Seven shoe. And the other motto is just keep mastering overcoming boundaries, because that's what I feel like I've always had to do, is just keep mastering how to get through things and keep going. So it's just there to inspire people to
Wow,
keep on flying.
that's powerful. That's very powerful. We want to thank you, Natalie, for coming in, having this podcast with us. It's probably your fourth time kicking it with us. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
your second actual interview. The other ones you did promoting a new song coming out for one of our other artists that we podcast with and fam. You know your family with us, so I can't wait till you come to LA, because I really want to check out one of your concerts and see you real face to face. Versus I watched a lot of stuff that you've done, and it's been on you're on point. It's on point. So
Thank
very
you. I
important
appreciate
that
that.
you know that. And we will stay behind you 100%. We want to thank you for Keep It 100 podcast for joining us. And next time, Natalie Nichole, you have a good day.
Thank you. You have a great rest of your day.
All right. Thank you.